Alrighty. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet. Welcome back to some more Factorio Bob's Angels. And we're going to actually start building stuff in the mega base this time. And yeah, we'll see. We've got a few things to do first because I've been thinking about this base, and honestly, I think look at all these robots go off. Like 99% of them are just carrying stone bricks for all of these little borders that we've put around. And we're kind of doing two things at the moment. We're building the mega base over here, and then we're continuing to build up our regular base over here. And the main reason we're continuing to build up our regular base is because the mega base is so slow to build up. Like we've got, I don't know, 1,000 robots and they're just constantly running all over the place. So building one module is probably going to take like half an hour just from the bots actually building stuff. So I think the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to say, you know what, we don't need these bricks anymore. What are they called? They're not stone path. I think they're this stone path. So we go like that. That did not work. All right, so what we have to do is we have to do something that we absolutely don't have. Electric boiler 3, whitelist it, and then so that'll get rid of every single stone path, which right now is 20k. I don't really need to get rid of them, but I'll get rid of them anyway because otherwise the base will look stupid. And then we're going to go into here and we're going to do that. And we're going to do that for each one of these guys. Okay. We didn't actually fix some of these up. Some of these still have the weird thing in the corner. Well, it doesn't matter because we're getting rid of the stone brick anyway. And then the station. All right. So if we have a look now, that's beautiful. Okay. So that will hopefully save our bots a lot of trouble because we basically, just by doing that, for a straight rail, we've just removed like 75–80% of the things that a bot would need to place. And for a station, even this really complicated station, we removed like 50% of the total entities. So yeah, that should make our mega base a lot quicker to build. Doesn't look as nice. I like having these little square bits, but look, it doesn't really matter because eventually we're going to concrete the entire base anyway. So those stone things weren't going to last anyway. Eventually they were going to get replaced by concrete, or we might have like hazard concrete around the sides and like hazard concrete here and then regular concrete in the middle, something like that. We definitely concrete eventually, but whatever. And I'm just wondering, is my sound coming out of the right thing? Hold up just 1 second. Let me just... Alright. Sounds... it's coming out of my... Okay. Let's fix that. I was wondering why it sounded so tinny, but the game audio was coming out of my actual monitor speakers instead of my proper 2.1 speakers. And I've lost my thing. That's really need it. Actually, just give me 1 second. Sorry, just when you've got a bit of a sniffly nose, it's not generally a good idea to be without a handkerchief. Especially when you're doing a 2-hour stream. Okay, so what are we doing this episode then? We said we were doing mining outposts, and that is exactly what we're going to do. We also planned out what these three are going to be. One's going to be coke, one's going to be sulfuric acid, and one's going to be mineral water. And I think we said the mineral water was going to be here because we can reuse this thermal water later on. Because thermal water can actually be used to make mineral water if you need to, but the recipe is locked behind blue science, so we can't do it yet. But when we can, then it'll be awesome. So the first resource we kind of need is going to be coal. So we've got this big old coal patch down here, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to do 4 of each of the minerals, and then 2 coal belts. That'll give us a total of 22, and we've got 22 stations over here, so that's going to be fine. That reminds me as well, we're going to delete this. I'm going to make this a T intersection, and we're going to put another station over here. It's not jumping over anything in it, is it? No. Good. I left myself enough room to put stations down here. That's beautiful. This is going to be our refueling station. It's also going to be the station I use to spawn stuff. So when I create a new train, I'm just going to pop it down here, the bots will place it, and yeah. So that is going to be awesome. Alright, so let's double check some things. We'll probably need to extend the robot network a little bit, because I have a feeling, let's just double check what we've got for mining drills. Technically we've got electric mining drills 2. We could start using it. Takes steel and electronic circuits, which is easy-ish. Electric large area. Okay, let's have a quick look here. So this doubles the speed from 0.5 to 1. That's beautiful. This one is 0.75, but in our mining layout is pretty good already. So there's no real reason to go for the large area mining drills, because they're just going to overlap more. The electric mining drill 2, I feel like it's not a bad idea. And our steel is okay. It's not fantastic, but it's okay. It should be enough to build some large area mining drills. Alright, let's have a crack at it. So I do believe we have a mall already. I am going to go over and drag the row report over to that mall, but I don't think we're going to expand that mall for new stuff. I think we're going to start building a new little mall further over to the right. Over there. And yes, I know the row reports don't quite line up, but it's good enough. Oh, you know what? I'm going to move this power pole. Ha! Yes, you move one power pole and the entire setup falls over. Redundant power. We always got to keep in mind redundant power. Then again, eventually this base will be destroyed, but well, actually no. What'll happen is this base will go around for a pretty long time, but what we'll do is we'll put a station over here somewhere, and it'll spit out all of the raw resources we get from mining and feed it back into this setup. Or we might delete this setup and feed in iron ore or something like that from the mega base. The mega base will turn around and feed the starter base once these ore patches run out. Yeah, this sapphirite is starting to look a little bit weak here. Everything else is pretty strong, but that sapphirite is... Although we haven't tapped this top half of it because it's too close to the stereotype. I do love having big mining locations at the start, but yeah, when they overlap with each other, it gets a bit tricky. Alright, so let's go ahead. We've extended... we need to do this. somehow you're all actually within the range. That's nice. So we'll put some on there because we'll probably end up using some of these buildings. I don't know if we have the resources to go straight up to red belts for the mega base. I mean, we're not even really properly automating. I think we are sort of automating bronze, but we're just putting it in a chest. We don't need red belts anyway, I don't think. Alright, 6. Let's go ahead and start setting up a nice little wall here. How much? 6,000. Okay. That's funny. In my other game, it only caps out to 3,000. I'm not sure why it's going to 6,000 here. Maybe Bob's Angels does something interesting with something. Alright. Okay. Now, I don't know if we actually really need to automate these guys. Because they're kind of just... If we don't need them in the mega base, then I'm not sure we really need to automate them. So, here's a trick. If you want your robots to place something, what you can do is you can just build it yourself. Set that to 0. We haven't actually built any logistics spots, so that's not going to work. Alright. There's a second idea. Let's put a chest down, put the other 14 in there, and then the robots will take care of it. Alright. And the robots will technically... The robots technically can take care of this now. If we didn't have all of them doing stone brick stuff over here, they could take care of it for us. And all of my little construction robots are running off and doing rails because apparently this is in range of the construction bot mod. It's got an extremely long range. Well, I'm not sure it has an extremely long range. I think it's just the construction bot mod. These little guys, they, when you actually go over here, the bots think, oh, this is in range of the player. They don't differentiate between the map and the player. So as soon as I lay this down, my little construction bots in my inventory are all like, well, we're in range because this is where the player is right now. So, yeah. Which is, it makes them useful in some circumstances, but in other circumstances, like right now, where I want them to build this, they're just off doing stuff halfway across the map, and they have to travel all the way over there, which is very annoying. Anyway, let's just do it ourselves. Eventually they'll get their heads together. Okay. And yes, I know that my bus is very janky. I thought it would be a good idea to do this. It is not. Damn. I know it doesn't really matter. Why are batteries dying so hard? No sulfuric acid. Okay, sulfuric acid is empty. Sulfur dioxide is empty. Sulfuric wastewater is chockers. I don't know what's going on here. Oxygen. We just don't have enough oxygen. That's an easy problem to solve anyway. We're not really dependent on batteries at the moment, so I won't worry about it. But yeah, I love it when you get these little easy problems to solve. Okay. So mining drills. Let's get the mining drills done. So gears, circuit boards. Was that? That's just iron gears. And yeah, one of the things about Bob's Angels is it loves to sort of make everything require the previous version. So I think we're going to make this a half belt. I'm not sure what the other half is going to be yet, but... we'll get some circuits on there. That takes care of that. And... mining drills Mark II. Okay, there we go. So green circuits can be on the second half of this. They don't quite reach long enough. Alright, if you want to play something that you don't have in your inventory, you just go to the map view, whack it down like that, and the bots will eventually print. They've put down all these, so they managed to find some time in between their busy schedules of dealing with stone brick. I really should build a little bit, a few logistics bots, just so I can start to make use of the trash function, but it's all good. Alright, so what else do you do? You just need steel and steel gear wheels. Okay, so let's make this a steel belt. Steel is not looking... I mean, we said before it was looking okay, but it's not looking as okay as I thought it would be. That makes it beautiful. And then this is steel gear wheels. Shift L, Shift L, Shift L. Alright. Now I'm pretty sure we've got one of those lying around somewhere, so let's do that. There we go, right on cue that little guy comes over. Alright, of course it's out of logistics range, by just a little bit. Come on, come on, there we go, beautiful. Yeah, steel is very bad at the moment. Well, okay, we are building a buttload of solar panels, so that's where a lot of that steel is going. Is there anything we can do to improve this? Not really. We've got 3 full belts of raw sapphire ore going in purely to make steel. I mean, that's more than half. We could shore up this a little bit, but that's more than half of our total sapphire is going in here. And it's just, these solar panels are really just drinking it up. Okay, well, I definitely want Mark II mining drills for this. So, I mean, we want to start off strong, but yeah, we're not quite starting off as strong as I thought, but it's a very small base to be building a mega base with, so we'll just see how we go. We can at least map it out. We could build it with the old drills. We could build it with the old drills and then upgrade it later to the new drills. And then we could just feed the old drills back into this process. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. How are our bots doing? Our bots are steadily getting through all of the stone brick that we're removing. And yeah, see, you mouse close and these little construction bots are like, oh, he's magically teleported to this place. Let's go help him out. And these got cut off because they were in the black part of the map. If you place a blueprint in the black part of the map, it does not work. It does not work. Alright. Yes. Okay, let's keep... some of these didn't get cancelled either. I'm not sure why that didn't work, but Anyway, there we go. That's some good stuff. All right. Bloody little bots. Yeah, I feel like going for these was probably a bit more. I thought my steel was stronger than it was, but apparently it wasn't. All right, well, we go over here, and the old mining drills are definitely in the logistics area, so that should be fine. Let's go ahead and just start placing them down. Now, here's the interesting thing. This is an infinite coal patch. It requires fluid to mine. We're just going to completely ignore this for now. We're just going to place our mining drills down like normal, and the ones that require fluid just won't mine. So I'm going to put down a nice long patch like this. Make sure that it correctly hits the bottom of the entire patch. And then drag the belt down. And what we're uncle. And we put a little balancer on it. So if one side mines out faster than the other side, the belt at the end still ends up being balanced. Okay, and then we'll drag it back up the other way. And this is usually I try and put the biggest lane down first, and then I just do this. Copy and paste. And this is the best way to guarantee that you hit every single part of the mine, of the ore patch, because maybe this is just me because I'm a bit anal, but I absolutely hate having little bits left over, little bits of ore left over somewhere. So I always try and get rid of whatever I can, just completely eliminate the entire mining patch. We don't need those poles. We don't need those poles. Save ourselves a little bit of belt here. And the good thing about these bigger power poles is they just reach across. You don't need to do a little jumper at the start. Alright, so what do we got here? We've got 9. So we go to our balancer book, which I swiped from the internet. We'll just chuck this here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get a 9 to 4. That way... Oh wait, 9 to 4 is only compatible with red. Okay, let's do a 9 to 2 for now. Line up the middle one with the middle one. And then we... Because this is blue belts, we need... Oh! We can just reuse this one. Blue, and blue. Don't need this anymore. And then, yeah. Done. Oh. And I'm out of belts. Okay, well, what we can do here is we can do that. Give us some nice coverage here, and then we just need one here, and that's it. Job done. Get you in the middle and get you. We are now fully powered, and as you can see, these are starting to light up, which means the robots are already coming over to place them, which is very nice. We got some coal coming out. And that actually needs to go down there, so alright, they're just complaining about solar and accumulators, so we've definitely got enough of these. So we just copy C, and then we can place it in ghost mode. And what? No, it's slightly annoying when it does that. You can't just do that to rotate an existingly placed belt. It doesn't like it. Yes, mine's are slightly annoying though, because when you want to build a new one, it's one of the few things where you can't just copy paste en masse. You've got to actually do it for real. Every single time you've got to customize it. They're not as bad as oil pumps, but yeah, okay. So we need to go we'll probably put these two here. So we're going to make a bit of a right turn. So, oh, that was fast. Make a bit of a right turn so that we're not building on top of the natural gas. And then we'll go straight up there and over there. Okay. Do we have a... We do have a car. And I got fuel. I do like the fact... I'm not sure if this is just a regular Factorio thing, but when you jump in a car and you just start driving... Oh, I just ran over some of these bots. Hopefully that means I picked them up and not that I actually destroyed them. But anyway. We don't... Because we don't have logistics spots yet. That was a power pole. We can't yet go around and actually request supplies. So I'm going to need to take a little bit of these belts. What else do we need? We need a few of these. We need some underground. We need to shift C to get rid of some of this crud in my inventory. And we can go out there and 1,000 belts should be enough. Should be enough. Yeah. I'm not worried about... I'm just worried about the bots. The belts that are outside the range of the logistics network. Which, right now they're all inside it, but they're rapidly. Alright, let's do a H to rotate that, and there we go. Let's go for a nice little range. It's almost long enough that you think, oh, maybe I should get a train to take these across. But we're just gonna do it manually. The alternative would be to drag some rail lines down and put in stations, but the downside of using this sort of mega base thing is it's very tileable, it's very easy to expand, but it's very tricky to sort of get into tight situations. Like, and because it's gridlocked, like you can't just say, oh, I want a station like that. It's overlapping it. It's overlapping it. Oh, you put it here. But how would you connect it if you want a rail going down here? It's very hard. So you kind of have to just say, okay, I'm going to have some long belts here and there to sort of deal with the fact that this mega base is just sort of, it is what it is. But long belts don't really matter too much because, alright, here's the really interesting thing. I've been saying for a couple of years that belts are more UPS efficient if they're fully sandwiched together, if there's not like loose bits going over the belts. And I always thought that was true. For some reason I remember like 0.16 that was true, but some people have said in comments on my videos that it's not actually true. So I don't know anymore. I mean, yeah, I seem to remember reading about it in 0.16, but maybe it's not true anymore, or maybe I was wrong about that, but whatever. Let's go ahead and finish this off. We're going to do we want to balance it out? I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and start placing down our first stations. So we've got a load station. We're going to put that down there, and this is going to be for coal. Oh, where is coal? It's the hardest part of this mod, knowing where all the things are. So this is going to be coal, and this is going to be coal. And these are parameterized blueprints. So as you can see when you put them down, coal stacks to 200, so it divides by 100 to get the amount of stacks in the warehouse. Divides by C. C is the cargo wagon size to get the amount of cargo wagons in the warehouse, and then it spits it out as L and puts it into the train limit. And we get C from these power poles, which are currently being, C is currently being pushed in by radar. And the reason we did this is because we get bigger cargo wagons later on. So right now our cargo wagons are 40, but we will get ones that have 80 later on. So when we upgrade our train wagons, all we need to do is upgrade one signal and the entire base will switch over from 40 cargo wagons to 80 cargo wagons. It's going to be amazing. Alright, let's go ahead and get some tree manslaughter as we go off. And whoa, I could have sworn 1,000 bells was going to be enough, but it definitely wasn't. Let's go ahead and go and grab some. And yeah, our bots are slowly getting their stuff together. Right, let's grab the whole 1.5 kilo. And that should be enough now. Stop trying to give me stone bricks, you stupid little ones. Well, we already got the coal rolling down the belt. That's very nice to see. So yeah, I think we'll just sort of go in order. We could start tapping every single mining base right now, like the saffrite and the stereotide and the blah 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 blah. But to be honest, we don't really need those guys yet. Too far to connect. Oh, I forgot. That particular station is always a pain in the ass. Because of the way these connect. In case you're wondering why I'm saying always a pain in the ass, I've actually been running a Factorio space exploration run in the background using these same blocks. And this kind of comes back to what I said about this being a chill stream, where we just play and we don't. Because the reason I play a chill stream, trying to do 2 hours a week, is because if I don't limit myself to 2 hours a week, I sort of just end up playing way too much Factorio, just way too much. And the Factorio space exploration run was a really good example of that because, yeah, I started playing it because I was stressed out because I was moving house and everything was going crazy and bad and stuff like that. I am actually in my new house, by the way. Still playing on my laptop. Haven't got the new computer set up yet. Haven't bought a desk for it yet, but I'm in my new house. It's wonderful and fantastic, and yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, Factorio and space exploration was starting to take over my life. Let's put it this way. I've already got up to blue circuits. I had a base that was like 100 of these blocks, a full mega base. I was going absolutely nuts on that game, playing it way too much. So like an hour before I started playing this game, I went and I deleted all my save games for Factorio space exploration. Because that's kind of a pattern that I find myself in sometimes. You go in, you play too much, and then eventually you're just like, well, I got to delete the save game because otherwise I'm just going to spend 99% of my spare time playing this, and it's just too much. Let's go ahead and get these. These are silos, aren't they? These are silos, okay. Now, in some cases, we may start limiting the size of these, but for now, we're just going to leave them as normal. We will be upgrading these inserters to fast ones. Obviously, this is 15 items per second. Right now, these are approximately 2.5, so they can't actually manage a full belt. So we're going to be upgrading these, and we're definitely going to be upgrading these because you want the trains to load as fast as humanly possible. But yes, for now that should be fine. And then what did we say? I think we could make this one coke. What did we say? We said we're going to make coke and then sulfuric acid. I mean, we got multi-phase oil right here. I'm not sure how helpful that's going to be for making sulfuric acid, but it might be helpful. So we're going to build coke over here. All right. Let's go ahead and let's just start laying some stuff down. So you are going to be my coal train. We're just going to build one at the moment. And I haven't even started clearing out the trees yet. The bots are absolutely going to go haywire when it comes to clearing out the trees. Speaking of which, we might want to do something about wood. And when I say do something about wood, I mean... Oh, these are just for ores. And we don't have any yellow warehouses. Alright, never mind. I was going to put down a yellow storage warehouse. I was going to set it to be wood, so the bots would take all the wood there, and then I was going to put it over here somewhere so we can feed the wood back into the system. But we're going to have to wait. Yellow warehouses are kind of iffy for that sort of purpose because they can get filled up with other stuff, or the bots can take wood to other locations once it's full, and then once it's emptied out, it doesn't actually move it over there. So eventually you kind of have to just wait for the requester chests. But the requester chests are going to be pink. Pink science. Which are transport science packs, which I'm guessing are going to be a massive pain in the ass. Yeah, they're very covered. But that's all good. Alright, so we got one mining base. We could probably start working on this. It's very tempting to just leave this game running for like a couple of hours just so the bots get all their jobs done. But that's my stupid fault in the first place for making, putting all those paths down. Let's just double check. No, I just want to make sure I don't have any stone brick. Well, let's go ahead and start fixing this stuff up. You are going to be refuel. We'll do a bit of stuff with trains here. Alright, so you are going to be refueling stations, and then we're going to make this a coal station. Yeah, we're going to be fueling our trains with coal. And we really don't need too much. So I'm going to make this 50. Because we really don't need much. So that's only going to be 50 stacks. And a train can carry 40 stacks. So only when it gets very, very low will it register that it actually needs to be fixed up. Now, let me double check. I think we already automated trains. Maybe not. No, we didn't. We automated engines, but we didn't actually automate trains. Alright, so let's go ahead. So you are going to be mine. Oh, we already have access to these guys. Well, actually, we did. We already got access to them. That's very strange. And then cargo wagon. Ah, it's right here. I am blind. Absolutely. I assume they're both going to need steel, and this one also needs iron products. Let's start. We're kind of making a bit of a janky ball where everything gets squeezed in, but it's alright. Of course, you need a storage tank. I forget these. There, and then green circuits. That's very janky. Alright, we got green circuits over here. You guys do not need green circuits. And then I'm just going to make a few of these. It's the magic of Bob's inserters. Okay. So there's our locomotive. Cargo wagon is pretty straightforward. You just need iron and iron gears. So we can do that one here. kind of janky, but yes, we are just going to have to embrace the spaghetti at this point. Really? Right. Pick up from there. You actually need to be making ingredients. And then you need steel pipes and fluid wagons. I don't think I've automated fluid wagons anyway. Fluid containers. 20 iron. Yeah, this wonderful little robot setup is really getting in the way. We can work around it. Okay, you are going to be pipes. I don't think we need you. Alright, that's pipes, that's fluid wagons, and that is fluid wagons, which we will not need a lot of, but anyway. And while I'm thinking about it, we're going to need a couple more stations for what I have planned. You know what? I'm just gonna... see, this is the problem with getting rid of the stone bricks. Suddenly you lose track of exactly where all of your guys are, all of your... But it's all good. And we're going to put 3 more stations here. It's overkill. It's definitely... Where did you come from? I hate it when this happens. Station. Go in there, get rid of that. So these are going to be depots. We don't really need this many depots, but eventually we will. Okay, so let's go ahead and start placing some trains down. And we'll have 3 coal trains. 3 seems like a nice amount. And we can set up the very first route, which is going to be... Well, I was about to say it's going to be refueling, but technically we're setting up a coal route. And refueling just happens to be requesting coal at the moment. But later on we can get rid of this station. We can replace it with rocket fuel or something similar. Okay. We've got some of this stuff, definitely. I don't know why we're not doing it. Oh, why it's complaining about two of these guys. Why is it complaining about 2 of them? We only laid down 1. Why are you complaining about not having... Anyway, whatever. My bots are, of course, going to go out, grab some stone brick, and then take it back to me, because that's clearly what I'm telling them to do. Beautiful. And we're going to have to set up some other sort of stuff a little bit later on. As we switch over to different fuels, we're going to say, okay, these guys, we need to remove all the old fuel from these guys. Oh, we could actually do carbon. carbon is, well, let's put it this way. Carbon's more efficient to actually fuel, to make. But when you're putting it in a train, it's actually more efficient to put coal in because it just lasts longer. All right. Full, unload, empty. We're going to add an interrupt called refuel. Okay, that didn't work. Refuel. Fuel all locomotives. Unfortunately, you have to... I'm just going to put coal at the moment. When it's less than 20. Go to... I could have sworn... Save interrupt. I could have sworn I renamed these stations. Refuel. I'm not sure how that happened. Alright. Refuel, go to refuel. Full fuel. All locomotives fully fueled. And then I'm going to start to play with these as well. This is going to be depot. And we're going to need a depot for a bunch of different things. Not sure if that worked. Yes, it did. Okay. So the depot is basically... Stop. Basically, if your cargo is empty and your destination is full, then you go to the depot and you wait for 5 seconds. And the reason we do this is because, say you've got a train that's being unloaded. So it gets fully unloaded, and then it tries to go back to the load station, but the load station is full, or the load station isn't active because it hasn't got enough. So the train will then just sit in the unload station forever. It'll just sit there. It'll just block the unload station. If there's another train trying to come in, it won't be able to come in, and blah, 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 blah. And so a depot is just to say, if you've got no cargo and your destination is full, go to the depot and wait. And we're actually going to have to do this as well. It's not quite necessary, but we're going to do this as well just because otherwise trains will sit at the refueling station for the same reason. They'll go and get refueled and then they'll try and load or unload or something like that. So we'll just, as soon as they finish reloading, refueling, we'll send them off to the depot. Okay, so you are coal. So we're going to actually watch this guy. He should go over to the coal loading station and get a whole load of coal and then go back to the refueling station and drop it off. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And of course this loading is going to be abysmally slow. It's just going to be abysmally slow. This will be, I'm not going to say almost instant, but it is going to be incredibly quick. When we get better inserters, we get faster inserters. But having said that, this stack size of 200. And we're only going to deal with full locomotives. We're not going to deal with empty locomotives or anything. Okay, this one got fully built. That's beautiful. Once again, I'm assuming we're just... Okay, this is pretty good. You can see these ones are not running because they don't have water. And you can't really feed water in because you can't feed water through these drills, but it's all good. I would have expected the bots to start placing down the belts. We have belts here, don't we? We do. All right. We got 2,000 belts. We got a whole bunch of belts waiting. I can only assume it's because the bots are busy taking care of all the stone brick. Let's help them out a little bit. Let's do that. Yeah, they had 20,000 to go through, and they're doing a pretty good job so far, so we'll just let them go. I mean, it's not like we're running low on coal anyway. So yeah, we're going to get some coal. This one, waiting at load, it's taking absolutely forever. You know what, we're just going to skip it. We're just going to send it over to coal unload, get this stuff going, and that'll be our very first train route. Beautiful. And yeah, to be honest, at this point, I'm not sure if I actually want to. It's kind of, we're kind of at a crossroads in terms of what we're building here. There's, on the one hand, we could just start building the mega base and just going through the mega base and using the mega base method to do everything. Which is not necessarily a bad idea. It's just, it'll be a little bit slow, but then on the other hand, we could go for blue science on the regular base. I'm not sure what that actually gives us yet. I'm not sure that it gives us anything that we actually will make the mega base faster. Like, the main thing, the number one thing that's probably slowing us down is robot speed and robot carrying capacity. Like worker robot cargo size +1. I mean, that's huge. That'll basically double our robots. And then worker robot speed. We can only get one level of that with blue science, which is still from +35 to +75, which is not too bad. So there's some good things. All right, is there a station somewhere that I put down that I didn't realize I put down? Because it's complaining about not finding. Oh, it's this one. It's this one over here. Okay, yeah, I forgot we put that one down. Are you still unloading? I thought you had barely anything in there. No. Let's go ahead and start working on some of this stuff. Let's keep expanding the mall, get some more things built that it's complaining about here, because obviously we're just not automating those at the moment. And eventually I want to just be able to stand here and build the entire base and have the bots do everything and not even ever need to go into the mega base myself to do anything. That's the dream. But yeah, and the bots are decently fast. They're decently fast. Now that we got rid of the stone brick, as soon as they finish clearing all the stone brick, things will be going a lot faster. What's your deal? Oh, we're forgetting a power pole here. But yeah, there's still, I mean, let's not lie to ourselves. They're slow as. They're extremely slow, but it's going to be a lot better. How much of our storage space has probably got stone bricks in it? I'm guessing a lot of it. Alright, let's just double check. Alright, so we need silos. Stone bricks, iron, and steel plate. This is not a bad place to put it. Just need to get some stone bricks up there. Oh, they're all the way down here, aren't they? Okay, steel is completely dead. Steel is so dead, it's not even funny. And it's getting a little bit more difficult to get things out of the house. That's not quite what I wanted, but good enough. Where's my inserters? I think, look, I'm sort of torn at the little bit about what we do for the rest of the episode. I think part of me wants to get some logistics bots going, because I think they will be very helpful with just sort of resupplying me with stuff. And part of me wants to just fix steel or improve steel, because steel is starting to look very shaky. Silo. we do not want a lot of these because they are going to be very, very expensive. But then again, we don't need a lot of them. Alright. And then we just need... we've still got so many barrels that we need to highlight here. Get rid of them. It's a bit annoying to do that on stream, so we'll just leave it for later. What are the other things that we're doing? Okay. It's just the green circuits and tin wire. We might as well make all three of those. Alright, we got green circuits here. This is not a bad spot to do it. And then we need some tin wire. Let's separate them by one so we can fit a power pole in there, and then we are all sweet. I know we're building three things here, but we might as well make the decider combinators while we're here. Not that I ever really use them, but it's not a bad idea to have them. Oh, you take copper cable as well. You are a pain in the ass. And these are very annoyingly placed. Did I just depower the entire base? Surprisingly not. That's crazy. Alright, must have some other power pole somewhere else. Don't really care about throughput too much for this particular setup. And then need a couple more of these guys. Voice is way too quiet. Gonna get game music. I think I'm just sort of... Alright, let's turn that down to 20. Usually my voice is pretty loud, but I think I'm just mumbling a bit because I'm like lost in what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, okay, having said that, maybe something's... Okay, yeah, no, that's my bad. Apply. And... Okay, yeah, there we go. That should be better. No, that's my bad. For some reason, my audio setting on XSplit didn't get changed. Yeah, no, that's what it should be set at. Okay, beautiful. Sorry about that. I don't know why that gets reset sometimes. Usually it gets reset when I move, when I remove my microphone, but I'm not sure why that should have changed at this point. Yeah, it was set at 100%. It's supposed to be set at 200%. That's a funny thing you can do in XP. You just set your microphone volume to 200%, and then you no longer have any problems with volume. All right. So these are our depot stations. Oh, and we can actually do something cool here. We can highlight this wire. And what do you mean you're not making much use of the adjustable inserters? Have you seen the amount of spaghetti? I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic or not. Because, yeah, I'm assuming you're being sarcastic because I'm using the crap out of them. All right, so here's the really cool thing, all right? So we talked about this a little bit before, but we got all the radars connecting in a single circuit, and then we have these. And you can see here we've got a green copper on the green signal is 2, and coal on the red signal is 1. So that means we've got 2 stations with coal available, and we've got 1 station that desires coal. And so that is going to be the basis of our entire base going forward, is we're going to build a proper setup to actually visualize these with like lights and stuff like that. But yeah, You can see just from hovering over one of these wires the state of our entire mega base. So we're good on coal. We do have one station that requires coal, and that's this one, because it's 0 out of 1. This one hasn't actually been fully built yet, so it's 0 out of 0, but once it gets fully built and all these get plopped down, then it'll say, oh, I actually need coal. This will go up to a 3. Well, this one will go up to a 2 because we need 100 stacks and each train is 40 stacks. So that'll say, okay, I want 2 trains, and that red signal will go up to a 3. This train right now is still loading, but once it finishes loading, it'll obviously just go over to here because this is the only train station that's actually desiring coal at the moment. But yeah, that's... And the green has gone down to 1 because we've drained enough out of this guy that it no longer can support a full train. It's down to less than 40 stacks. So only this one can support a full train. And in a little while, it'll be able to support 2 full trains. Alright, so... Why are you complaining? Ah, tin copper wire. Well, yeah, that's going to be a thing. That is going to be a thing. You're running at full speed, aren't you? Well, actually I'm not sure, because this produce... Oh, it's because these assembly machines are shit. I keep forgetting. I think you guys deserve better assembly machines. These two. I mean, they're for a mall, so it doesn't really matter. Ooh, you know what? We could actually do this. We could use an electronics machine. These guys are hella fast. There we go. That's doing the full 4 per second. So we'll get 2 inserters here. Now this requires 10 per second, and it produces 5 per second. Tin copper wire. Let's go. Drop that off here, and let's go and drop that off there, and we'll drop it near side, so it drops on both sides of the belt. There we go. Successfully using overly using adjustable inserters, I would probably say in this case. But why is... Oh god, tin is dying as well. We cannot build a mega base in these conditions. We just can't. That should be enough. Yeah, so you're 0 out of 2 now. So now it's saying we've only got 2 1s, blah 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 blah. Here's what we can do actually. This train, we didn't actually assign it to a group, so let's do that. And the group is just going to be coal. We're not going to give it a name, we're just going to call it coal. And then what we can do over here is we can say, you are now coal as well. And we can shift right click and shift left click, and now both of these are coal. Alright, so you guys go off and do coal related stuff. And how we do have 2, so, but this is 2 for this one, 2 out of 2, and this one's 0 out of 0. So this one is just going to be stuck in the loader. And I think it should redirect over to this station once this station becomes full. So we're going to see if it does. We're just going to double check to make sure that it does. Because otherwise it'll just sit there and then it'll go into this station once it's finished. Oh my god, I really need better inserters. This is going to kill me. Having said that, I think we're setting the world record for the earliest time going for a mega base, because we're just going to... Yep, there it goes. It redirected into this one as soon as the train limit on this one became 1. Beautiful. And I think if another station somewhere else became 1, it probably would have just left this station entirely and gone off to that. But there we go. Beautiful. We can't quite get... Eventually we'll be able to get more inserters, but I don't think we can get more than 4 at the moment doing that. And yeah, I know it's kind of janky doing this, but there you go. Bob adjustable inserters being absolutely abused. And yeah, to be fair, I didn't quite get this idea myself. I got it from watching one of Dosh's videos. I think it was the C block one, but it's once we get max level inserters, and maybe we can probably fit another 4 inserters loading this trade wagon as well, because I think, yeah, these, it can only go down 2, so we can get 2 more inserters once we can go down 3, and that will eventually get unlocked. But alright, so what did we say was the plan here? So we've got, why are you not filling those in? The bots are definitely finishing off. We've only got a little bit more stone brick. They're getting very close to finishing it. And they're probably getting very close to filling these guys up as well. 25k, 11k wood. Let's get some more of these guys in. So that's a total of 48 of those. I'm just going to make them myself because, well, I say I'm going to make them myself. I don't know if I have the steel to make them myself. 48 is 144 green circuits. We've got that. Let's go grab some steel. We are completely out of steel. Yeah, I think we have to go down and, at the end of this episode, just do some work on steel. I'm not sure how much work we can actually do on steel. 29. 48 times 29 is 19, so we need a bit more. But yeah, we're going to have to do something, because right now steel is just... It was falling over before, and now it's just completely fallen over. It's dead. It's just so dead. So yeah, that's going to be, I think it's going to be our focus. It's going to be our next focus. We've started setting up some train systems. We've verified that our train system is running correctly. 2.7k, 2.2k, these guys are slow as. This train is still unloading. In here, we can see that we only require 50. And currently we've got 4k, which is 20 stacks. 50 minus 20 is 30. 30 divided by 40 is less than 1, which means this train limit has gone down to 0. So it's not going to ask for another train for a very long time until this dips down to 10 stacks or below. And then it'll say, hey, I need another one. But this one over here, of course, is going to continue to ask for 2 trains, and that's probably what these other 2 trains are going for. Having said that, even if there was no requests for more trains, these guys would still go here and load, and then they would just sit there and do nothing. So let's go off and start fixing things, because yeah, steel is definitely a problem. Tin is also a problem. Tin has completely fallen off. I wonder what tin is doing wrong. It may have backed up on... God, this is just terrible. What the hell? I think copper ore. It must have backed up on copper ore. Although I did have 2 warehouses to store copper ore in. So I'm not sure how it can be backed. It's not backed up on copper. Ah, okay. All right. Solder, yes, yeah, okay. So it's the bloody this stuff. I thought we solved. Well, I think we did a pretty good job on this. We did a pretty good job on the throughput, but obviously we've just completely banked on everything. All right, let's. Of course, we're low on steel. This is a pretty good setup. We just need a couple more warehouses to store the stone brick, and then everything will be hunky-dory. But unfortunately, we can't build any warehouses because we're out of steel, which is kind of a chicken and the egg sort of situation, but we'll make it work. There should be a bit of steel at the end of one of these lines that we can steal. Pun intended. All right. This one looks good. Modules. get some steel. 1 warehouse. 2 warehouses. And we got plenty of inserters, plenty of power poles. All right. We're just going to cache up. This won't be a problem in the mega base because we will be able to turn... Well, actually, it won't be a problem in the mega base because we won't even be using these recipes. We won't be using these wacky sorting recipes that spits out slag. Well, we'll have to use it for some advanced things, but for most... Okay. Here's the way we do it, which is actually really, really cool. Well, kind of cool. All right. Now, we're going to do like that, and then like that. We don't need those anymore. So... you know what? I don't actually need to add logic to those. That logic's fine. Yeah, that logic's fine. Beautiful. All right. So that should fix up our problems eventually. Eventually. And I think I'll just leave it there. I'm not sure I'm going to do much else to fix stone. We could... Well, actually, what we probably should do is we should probably tap the rest of that sapphirite mine, because yeah, the sapphirite that the steel build is currently tapping. How are you looking? 150k landfill. It's all right. I could say we should use this instead for making stone brick, but clearly we've got enough stone brick. So I'm happy to just turn this into landfill. And eventually we'll start throwing grenades at those warehouses if we really have to. But, alright, here's the interesting thing. When I spawn this map, look at the mega base already, it's got barely anything in it and it already looks impressive. When I spawned this map, I turned off cliffs and I turned off water except for the starting area. So this is the only water on the map. And then I installed the water fill mod, so we can basically just make water wherever we want and just place it. So that's going to make our mega base a lot easier to build than it would otherwise be. Okay, these guys are all backed up. Let's start clearing off some of these mining drills, getting them out of the way, and then we'll repurpose them to figure out the sapphire, which is going to be awkward because they're also going to be mining a little bit of stereotype as well. And we are using 0 stereotype because only thing that's really stereotype is useful for is making copper, and we get more than enough copper as byproduct from all the sapphirite we're sorting. So yeah, this is actually going to be very... I think we're just going to have to put sapphirite stereotype in a warehouse. I mean, because we could do a priority... Actually, I want to keep that. We could do like some sort of priority splitter, but it's not going to make a difference. Dump. Okay. I just want to make sure we cover all of the sapphirite. No, that's not right. I knew when I was placing it that these belts would get me in trouble eventually, but it is what it is. Oh, let's not put them through yet. Let's not send them through quite yet. I'm going to have to do some stuff here. And I'm running out of power poles. goes there. I don't think we're in Roboport range here. No, we're definitely not in Roboport range here. Alright, let's just finish planning this out though. Can't put them down, not because there's stone bricks in the way, but because there's simply no ore. And yeah. If we go to the map view, well, let's actually move off this location, go to the map view. Okay, so it doesn't extend too much. We should just be able to get away with putting one mining drill like this. And it just reaches. And then that fixes that problem. You need a power pole. You need a power pole. And that one's already... How did that one already mine out? That's crazy. Alright, we'll get rid of these ones. That's weird. Oh, I thought it had a weird icon, but it's... I thought it had like an iron plate icon for a second there, but anyway. Alright. Good thing about clearing out all of these mining areas. Okay. So you are going to be Stereotyte. Stereotyte. Right. Stereotyte, Stereotyte, Stereotyte. And those are the only ones we need it for. Alright, that gets us Stereotyte, and there's a neat little trick you can do here, which I haven't actually done too much of, but let's see if we can find it. You may have seen it on a bunch of blueprints if you've copied blueprints from online, but you do this, and the reason you do that is so you don't get those extra crappy little bits of sapphirite sitting at the front of the belt. Just sit there forever, or Stereotyte in this case, but alrighty. Let's clear this out. So we could also do this, input priority left, but that's not going to last for a long time. So what we're going to do is output priority left, and then we're going to shove it in a warehouse. And I don't realize I don't have any more warehouses, so we'll get back to that. Meanwhile, well, we've tapped all this sapphirite now. I'm not sure if we actually need it anymore, to be honest. I do like the fact that we've tapped all of it. Let's just look it up anyway. And yeah. You know what? No, that's fine. Eventually these will run out and then this one will start putting it in properly. Okay. Ooh, that's a whole lot of Stereotyte. Alright, we definitely need a warehouse. Maybe a couple of warehouses. What did we need? Iron plates. That's a lot of iron plates. And steel, obviously, we just have to go onto the belt because there's no way there's going to be any steel sitting in these actual induction furnaces or casting machines or whatever the hell they're called. Steel is still kind of crap. Yeah, it's kind of crap. That's one warehouse. Let's make a second warehouse. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Cannot insert warehouse. Let's give it some more wood. It doesn't actually get rid of it, but when you put it in your trash slots, even if you don't have logistics robots, it's just a nice... It's like extra storage almost, and then you can just pop it back in your inventory whenever you want. Come on, dude. A little bit more steel. There we go. There we go. Just a little bit more steel. And yeah, I really don't want to have to come back and be sort of like, alright. Is that why the steel is so slow? Yeah, that's why the steel is so slow. What do we do about this? What can we do about this? Haven't left myself much room to expand that. I don't know, but we got 40 minutes to look into it, and I definitely would like to fix up these annoying sort of issues. Oh, we got some extra crushed stone just going in a random warehouse over there. Not surprising. Alright. There we go. Input priority left. Might as well do that just for the sake of it. We already got an input priority over there, but this one is a little bit nicer. Alright. So yeah, crushed stone going through smoothly. Slag going through not so smoothly. What can we do with slag? We can turn it into crushed stone. That's one thing. You can turn it into slag slurry using sulfuric acid. We don't have the acid to spare for that. And you can turn it into concrete. So, yeah, alright. Crushed stone. Well, we're already doing that up here. Well, we're... These are not the coal ones, they're the full ones. Honestly, we're just running out of room. Okay, here's an idea. This stone belt is in the way, but I have to route this stone belt around somehow. Okay, well that should spit out a little bit faster. I'm not sure if it's enough for these, but let's just get a nicer balancer here. 3 to 2. That's big, but H. There we go. Take that back down to normal levels. So that'll balance it a little bit better. Do we actually have red? No, we need bronze for that. Okay, technically that makes it. Can we do that? No, beautiful. Beautiful. Now the problem is that these guys are definitely not. So we need 10 of these. Alright, here's what we do here. We just copy and paste like so. You go over there, and then you go up there, and then back around. Alright, that's pretty... somehow we had enough ore crushers in our inventory to accomplish that. I'm not sure how. And then we just got stone. What can we do something with crushed stone? We can convert it to stone. We could do this. We could put some water in, convert it to mineralized water, and then just clarify it. Maybe we'll do that. Yeah, and then just clarify the mineral water, because, I mean, we could also, the other option is turning into, we don't need more stone brick, we just don't. We could also turn into landfill, but landfill is completely useless, so I think we'll just clarify it, and then just get rid of it. Alright, so we're going to need a few of those. Few of those. I already got a bunch. In that case, we don't actually need these guys in the middle, do we? We just need the crushed stone. How come I using the Factoriopedia? Habit. I was using FNEI before Factoriopedia was ever a thing, so I just got used to it. Alrighty. So, 3 says 18. We're doing up here, and then what was that recipe again? Crushed stone, mineralized water. This is a liquefier. I had liquefiers, didn't I? Okay, you take 15. That's nice. That's very nice. I'm not sure how we actually get the inserters to manage that. You know what? I should do it on the So these are... So this is already 6. Okay, so this is 6. Which means we need... 9... Wait a sec, no, this isn't 6. 3... This is 9. Which means this is only be 6. So technically we don't need the last 2. Which means this is technically producing 12. So yeah, we don't need the last 2. We don't need the last 2. So this is producing 12. Let's get these guys to be here. And then these guys can also be near. And then we got 12 on one side and 12 on the other. And as we just said, the liquefier these guys aren't quite going to be fast enough. Do we want to actually... I feel like we could just go for a little bit of these red inserts. Because, I mean, getting rid of all this... Although the slag is starting to look a little bit better already. But we'll absolutely demolish the slag. Right, there's a little bit of bronze that we had left over. I need some steel. Always with the steel. If I just do... I just did Shift C and it got rid of almost nothing. And it got rid of half of the bronze that I picked up. Very, very annoying. Right. Oh, we could get fast bulk. Okay, we don't need these. We should just be fine with these guys. Because, I mean, these are already 2.35. We just need them to go up to 5. I think if they're a 5, then they can do 15. 4 belts of 15 by themselves. Yeah, 4.44 is close enough. Alright. And now we get some water. put it down here. We play the game where we search for half an hour to try and find a offshore pump. There it is. And Bob's your uncle. Now, they each take 150 per second. This guy does 1200, so that's easy. And you guys spit out 150 per second. They're very, very fast. So where is my... It's actually clarifier. For some reason I sometimes think it's called a calcifier. But alright, you are doing 160. No, it's taking in 160. Is it actually... Is that the speed it can go at? It looks like that's the speed it can go at, because some of these are stalling. Right, let's put a second one down. That's kind of nice. You get 150 here and you get 160 over here. Okay, so eventually, yeah, it's starting to use all of them. You know what? We're actually going to expand this a lot because I just realized some of these machines aren't working. So let's go ahead. Hey, you know what? I'm going to expand it like this. I'm going to do this again, but this time we're going to do it like that. Oh, when you press shift, it actually does the water fill automatically. That's beautiful. And somehow, we still have enough ore crushers. How the hell do I have this many ore crushers just sitting in my inventory? Oh, now we're out, but we just need a bunch of stone bricks, one more, and of course we need some more fancy inserters. And of course we're always out of steel. Always out of steel. Right. So now, there is absolutely no way that we will ever be stuck on... Well, I say there's absolutely no way. Obviously, we're converting 3 into 2 here, so that will slow things down a little bit, but assuming that this is fine, we are absolutely no way that we'll ever get stuck. We could put a bit of a thingo in there to say, hey... Only actually throw the slag away when you've got too much stone brick. Like you basically say, okay, only do it when these are too full. But the thing is, we're not really worried about wasting it. We just need throughput. We just absolutely do not want the slag to ever stop going. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Alright. That's pretty much it. These guys should start freeing up in a second. I did not think that through, because now we're spitting out too much for these 2 clarifiers. I did not think that through. It looked so good on the blueprint, but I didn't think it through. Alright. 1. It looked so good on the blueprint. That's my excuse. Don't really have enough room over here to expand it to include a second one. So we can do... it doesn't quite fit. There we go. Done. And you power pole. Done. There we go. That still looks reasonably nice. And thank God for Factorio 2.0, where you don't have to worry about fluid throughput. It's just like, once it's in a pipe, it's all good to go. Alright, beautiful, 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 beautiful. So, we should now have steel going at... I mean, it's green. Let's put it this way. You're going full, you're going full, you're not going full. Let's go down and see if we can squeeze in some sort of balancer, because we do have more sapphirite coming out now. Coming out of the ore patch that we're just not tapping. So, we kind of need a balancer. We got... we really haven't left ourselves much room to do that. And these guys are not really looking full either. Okay. What I'm going to do is... we're just going to spaghettify everything. And this guy is actually going to go... Have we disconnected half the base? No? Beautiful. We're going to do that. And I'm going to thread it through. And then this one is going to be helping steel out a little bit. And here we actually have room for a balancer, so we're going to put one down. Need a 4 to 3. Throughput unlimited, why not? Oh, and it actually lines up beautifully. Okay. I can't remember exactly what throughput unlimited means when we're talking about blueprints, but anyway. So, there we go. So these two will get balanced. Half of them will go off to try and fix up this. We want to input priority right on that and input priority right on that. So we keep these guys going, and then the other half will go down. And so we should be seeing our full stack of sapphirite going into these two, and then this one's obviously dead, and the boboni and the rubite is still fine, and then we've got 3 full belts going down into steel. So that shores up steel a little bit, and the tin that we said was a problem before, really not a problem anymore. And the trains, really, look at, see, these trains are just asleep because no unload stations are available, because this guy has a train limit of 0 because he's got enough, and this one over here also has a train limit of 0 because he's got enough. There's 15k, which is 79 stacks. We need 100, which means we need 21 more stacks, but 21 is less than the size of a wagon, so it's not requesting a train. Okay, well, we've done a whole bunch of problem solving. Potentially we can actually start working on the first station. We'll start planning it out anyway. We'll start doing it remotely. And it is going to be coke. And our bots are all good, actually. So we can start them clearing out this area. Let's just get rid of all the trees. Part of me wishes I'd left that stone brick there. Just to sort of... But whatever. Alright. So, for our very first station of the mega base, we've got 15 items per second, and we definitely want to make use of it. And we're going to be doing this process. We could put burner ore crushers there, but I don't really want to. Although this is the one place where we could actually do it and get away with it. But these ones are faster anyway, so we put that down here. And we can say, all right, what's your deal? 1.5 per second. So that means we need 10 of these. So, and I love the fact that the bots are already ready to build this. They're already getting stuck into it. Okay. Alright. Oh, we're actually going to be producing 2 belts. Because it turns 1.5 into 3. Power poles aren't quite long enough. So what did we say? We need 10 of these guys. So you are shift N, near side. And hurry up bots. Usually I get rid of the trees well in advance, but I like get rid of every single tree on the entire thing. But in this case, I wanted the bots to get rid of the square things first. So we're just gonna get rid of these local ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now in this case, we actually want 2 inserters here, 1 near side and 1 far side, and same thing here, 1 near side and far side, and then you've got near, far, near, far, far, near, far, near. And actually what it's nice to do is to have some like stack inserters on these last 2 spots, because then they help fill in the belt a little bit easier, but that's all good. So we got 30, and then the next stage, I'm just going to keep referring to this guy over here, is we create coke. And we either do that with the liquefiers or we do that with the, whatchamacallits, with the stone furnaces. So I'm just going to do it with the liquefiers because I'm assuming we're going to need so much wastewater. It's not even funny. Alright, so you are going to be crushed coal and purified water. We'll set up the purified water over here somewhere. So we currently have 30 crushed coal per second. And this is where I get out my calculator. 30 divided by 0.75 is 40. So we need 40 of these machines. And they spit out the same amount, so we're still going to have 2 belts. So actually, what we're going to do here... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not sure why I'm doing it like that, but whatever. Okay, so this one will be the first one. Cannot insert wood. I'm not sure why they're putting wood in my inventory, because I'm a million light years away. So there's 2 ways to do fluids. Either you jump it over a belt like this, or you just do it directly. We can't do it directly because these are 3x3 machines. So even if you would do something like that, and then that, you would need to put spaces between the machines to make it work. And I really don't want to put spaces between the machines, because I want as much vertical space as possible so that when we upgrade to red belts and blue belts and blah, 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 then we're suddenly not running out of space. I've given myself so much space for this station. But still, red belts, blue belts, I want to just be able to double and triple these setups and just say, okay, we're all done. Alright, so we're going to do that as well. Sulfuric wastewater. And, yep. We'll keep sending it off the bottom. It makes it a little bit awkward with having 2 belts, but it's all good. You, and then you, and then 2 power poles, like so. And that one's a near one. And we said we needed 20. 20 times 0.75 is 15. All right. Okay. 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 10. And then we just do another 20. And then we could actually do a horizontal flip. That's kind of funky. Yeah, whatever. We're going to do it. We're going to have some fun here. Actually, let me just move these down by 1. And then you go like that. Alright. So there's our stuff. And we need a power pole over here to hook up all that power. Then we just need Well, let's get some purified water going here. Purified water. So 18.7, I don't like that number because I don't know exactly what it is. So we're just going to go here. So we're doing 30 crushed coal per second. 30 divided by 2 is 15. 15 times 50 is 750. Let me just double check that. 750. All right. So let's get some... we could make it using hydro plant 2s. Yeah, let's do that. Purified water. So we need 750. So we need 5 of these. These guys take 225 each, which I'm pretty sure is less than 1200, which means we only need 1 pump. Okay, and actually we can just do it like this, can't we? Shift. Cannot build on dirt 4. Okay, for some reason it doesn't like putting the water. If I do it manually though, then it's fine. That's interesting. We'll have to double check this because sometimes you put a pump on and you blueprint the pump at the same time you blueprint the water fill. It doesn't quite work. All right. So you are 30 times 5 is 150. So theoretically, 1 clarifier should be able to handle all of that. Because I think we saw before that clarifiers can do 160. So let's go ahead, let's hook this up. Boom, 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 boom. And then we just need the purified water, which we're going to put... you know what? We can just do it like that. And then this one goes like that. And like that. And I'm not even sure if we need to go for a setup where we're not producing sulfuric wastewater, because A, we can just clarify it, and B, go back to A. I mean, the only reason we wouldn't do it is because we didn't like the extra power that the liquefiers are using. But to be honest, I mean, I just don't see the point in ever using this recipe. Because, what was it? It's 2 to 2. And I've lost the other one. Where's the other one gone? It's 2 to 2. Where's... I've completely lost the other recipe. Oh, it's right here. This one's also just 2 to 2. It requires purified water, but we can make that for free, quote unquote free. It's just power usage, really. That's all it is. You don't need to have a thing. You guys don't need to have a thing. You do need to have power. In case you guys haven't realized it, these guys do actually have limits on the amount of wires they can have attached to them. I think this one's got a limit of 5, which is why when I put this power pole down, it doesn't connect up to this thing, see? Because it's got a wire limit. So, yeah. But that's alright. There's the downside of having all of these guys hooked up like that. When you've got one of these cross ones in the middle, you can hook one power pole up to it, but that's it. Alright, so that gives us sulfuric acid. No, not sulfuric acid, sulfuric wastewater coming out there. And we've got this stuff. And then, I'm not sure if we'll actually end up making this thing. We'll plan it out. And then we'll need to do some stuff here as well. Station load. Might as well get this one going. This is going to be carbon. We may need coke as well. I'll reserve judgment on whether we need coke. Alright. But yeah, alright. So carbon So theoretically, we're going to have 3 belts of carbon coming out. That's a huge amount. All right, let's just make three belts of carbon. 3 stations for it. One belt of coal equals 3 belts of carbon. You heard it here first. And let's have a look. So this guy uses the liquefiers again. Let's make it over here so we don't have to interrupt the rotor ports. Okay. So we got 30 total coke. That's a crazy recipe that we're not going to be touching for a very long time, if ever. This just needs a input. And... Alright. So what are you doing? 1.5. So we need 20 of these. Let's do it like this. I'll just ignore this pipe for now. Okay. So again, we do a thing like this. And that is going to be... Well, we kind of need a few, don't we? We kind of need a few. Let's just move this out by 1. So we can have 2 of these. And then what we'll do is we'll have a mirror. You know what? I'm going to reverse these. I'm going to have... like that. If we're using undergrounds, we might as well use them for the longest period. So we don't jam into that row report. Alright. $2.35 just matches 2.25. Okay. So we said we needed 10 of these, I think is what we said. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, and that matches the 15 that we're supposed to have. I forgot to do these, but it's all good. And yes. So that looks beautiful. And now we just need to, so this is going to be 22.5. So this is 4.5, 9, 13.5. So we just need another 1.5 here. Now this is the annoying part because we're doing near and far side insertion. So technically this guy needs to do near and far on the old belt and also near and far on the new belt, if that makes sense, to make sure it's perfectly balanced. Is there a nice way we can do this? Alright, well let's first of all horizontal. There we go. So there's our 3 belts. 1, 2, 3. So this is 9, 13.5 of these, and then these 2 are the ones that get shared. I mean, we could take the easy way out and just build another set up here. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take the easy way out because this math is doing my head in, and it's very, very hard to sort of work it out. All right. So you are 8. You are okay. So there we go. And then we just do here, like so, and boom. Now that's technically building too many machines, but it means my brain isn't so beat up and useless. And we're almost at the end of the episode anyway, so, you know, it's all good. Okay. And now we just need some steam. Which ironically we'll be making steam from these products. And we haven't really... Well, so we won't get 3 full belts because we'll be making steam using fuel from some of these guys. So let's have a look. So it won't be quite... So we need 24 times 22.5. It's 540 steam. 540 is 9 of these. Okay, and then we're just going to whack the coke in there. Technically, it might be better to actually put the carbon in here, but then it's a system that can potentially fall off a cliff and just completely deadlock because we'd be dependent on goods that we hadn't even made yet. Okay, and then get me... Yeah, it just doesn't like building on dirt using the auto ghost thing. But we just do that. And these guys take 60 per second, so there should be more than enough. Yeah. Output priority left on this one. As kind of, is supposed to be a mega base build that's sort of very tightly controlled and constrained and, you know, wonderful and all that sort of stuff. And we're kind of just hacking it right at the end. But, yeah, it is 1, 2, 3. It's alright. It is okay. And it's a nice way to sort of finish off the episode. We haven't fully built it, but we have fully designed it. And yeah, we also have a bunch of sulfuric wastewater, which I now can't get out. I jumped these over, didn't I? Yes, I did. All right. Beautiful. And now we just put a tank on here and we put it into a train station. We kind of ran out of time to develop the train station, but that's what we're going to be doing next stream, next week is, first of all, actually getting all of these buildings automated so that can actually be done. Because, yeah, it's definitely missing quite a few of them. Although, yeah, I mean, we're making a lot of these, like the pipes and the water fill, but they're just not in the logistics network. So I think we'll start making a lot of those, get them available. Things like the water plants, I'm not really sure how much they need to be, whether I can just make them myself and dump them in the network, but we'll probably make them just to do it. And then we'll go through here, and then next episode will be sulfuric acid, I think. Yeah, we'll get the wastewater. We'll make a really kick-ass sulfuric acid station. And you know what? I think I've kind of made my decision. I was kind of like, do we get blue science and do we just make it? Or do we just keep going with the mega? I think I just like making the mega base. I think the bots are fast enough that they can make things in a reasonable fashion. And I mean, we're pretty good at this game where we can start designing stuff ahead of time. We just have to make sure that we're keeping the bots busy. Like, we have to make sure that we're continuing to build up. Like, next episode, I'll probably start building this block as well. so that once we finish these 2 stations, we can start building the ore processing over here or something like that, and start whacking these as well. Looks like the bots are finished with the coal. That's a very nice looking mining station. And yeah, everything's beautiful. We can start building the hub. We can do all sorts of stuff. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this stream. I do hope you enjoyed all the progress that we made. This is the very first block. They're going to get bigger and bigger as we get more impressive belts and more impressive machines. Because, I mean, look, you get more impressive belts. I'm not sure how much better the machines are going to be. Like, all right, we can get ore crusher 2s, which have speeds of 2. But yeah, we're going to have to go back and we're going to have to say, all right, we're going to switch over to red belts. We're going to switch over to blah, blah, blah. But for now, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll start using red belts for things like the ores, but then again, red belts are dependent on our steel, and steel is, even with 3-4 belts, steel is still kind of crap. So we really need to think about better ways to create steel. Hey, Radias, yeah, next time I'll be streaming exactly the same time next week. Unfortunately, I'm in Aussie time, and I stream at 8 AM, which kind of works for some people, but yeah, we'll see how we go. All right, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I do hope you have a good weekend, and I will see you later.